And welcome into Views from the Sideline. It is May 9th, 2019. And welcome to the show. Repping the Giannis Antetokounmpo gear today. The Milwaukee Bucks star leads his team to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like it said in the video, for the first time since 2001, when that team was led by none only than Ray Allen. Welcome to the show, guys.
Chris, I got some hot takes today.
I'm gonna just set it up right now. Yeah,
because that guy on your shirt, he's the third best player in the playoffs. He's not one or two. He's third still.
I can agree with that. No, I can still agree with that. I think I can agree with that because
I think in basketball conversation right now, I think that'd be a hot take with most general fans.
But I can agree with that because Giannis has such a fantastic supporting cast. That's something that Kawhi doesn't have, and KD has a supporting.
Kawhi has a
but not as good.
I think he has a pretty good supporting cast.
But not as good. Siakam's playing out of his mind.
Yeah,
but to whoever Giannis passes to makes a three every time.
I think it's more that the roster is perfectly fit around him.
Yeah.
Then he has a better supporting cast. I think Kawhi has more talented players around him, but Giannis he has gunners everywhere around the court.
And Joey,
guys that can let it fly.
I hope you insert a clip here of you guys saying you're picking the Celtics to win the series.
Celtics in 5.
And
Celtics in 5.
Just put that right here. Thank you.
Hey man, there are a lot of people that pick the Celtics.
Wow, you took the number 1 seed. What a reach.
Get him, Joey.
I mean, you jumped on the bandwagon.
You can't say that you weren't
jumped on the
nervous
bandwagon
after game 1.
I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't.
I'll try to find that clip too.
Not nervous. MVP, Coach of the Year. They have Splash Mountain on their team.
Splash Mountain.
Brooke Lopez. That's his nickname.
Jesus, Splash
Yeah.
Mountain.
That's actually a really good nickname in my opinion. Well, we'll talk. We'll touch on that in a little bit. I want to talk about kind of the coaching carousel in the NBA that's been going on and all the scuttlebutt that's been going around.
I hope you never use that word again.
Scuttlebutt. I'm going to use it now.
Scuttlebutt.
That's going to be a term that I'm going to staple in this show.
Joe, you cut that out afterwards.
Yeah, we're just gonna beep it out like you said something wrong.
It's gonna sound so weird. It's gonna be like there's a lot of, and then he's gonna put in you from a different show saying a word. It's gonna sound weird every time you say scuttlebutt because people aren't gonna.
That should be really funny.
Scuttlebutt.
First things first. Monty Williams. He signed a 5-year deal to be the new head coach of the Phoenix Suns.
Beautiful.
He declined the Lakers for long-term security with Phoenix. Was that the right move for Monty? I think it's clearly the right move.
I think that may be the best pickup coaching-wise. That may be the best move for a coach right now. Monty knows what that team has, and that all they need is
I disagree with you. They have a lot to do, and Joey can attest to this. He picks the Suns every year to be good. They have a lot of things they got to change.
But because I picked them, I don't see that they have a lot to do. They're just not performing.
That's because Joey, even he sees they have the talent to be a good team.
They have no point guard.
They haven't had a point guard or a seriously good coach. Now you have the good coach. You're going to have a
They
top
didn't give
pick
Igor enough time.
They messed up with Alfred Payton.
They did. I thought Alfred Payton would be better.
Oh, they kind of let him go.
And they let him go too soon.
Problem.
But I don't think they should have hired Igor from the start. With that cast of young guys,
Igor Korkmaz.
and him being a nice pronunciation.
Thank you.
And him being a brand new NBA coach, I think a lot of people could have predicted that wouldn't work.
But they should have given him more than a year. If you're going to sign a guy and try to make this coach last and build with your current group, you got to give him more than a year.
But when you're a franchise like this and it seems like you're spiraling every year,
it just shows dysfunction.
It does look like there's dysfunction, but then you make a move like this. You have an experienced NBA guy who's likable, players like him. He has all the knowledge. He's going to get these young guys to play harder than they've ever played. And I can guarantee he's going to make the right pick for that franchise when the time comes.
And they have a chance to get John Morant. Just saying. Then I'm Phoenix #1 overall seed. Just kidding.
Summer predictions. That NBA talk is going to be interesting.
Suns are going to be
Phoenix
one of my
5
favorite
seed.
teams.
I can't wait. Even though the Pistons aren't in the draft lottery, I can't wait for the draft lottery because the Zion sweepstakes are so huge and it's such a huge storyline. Everybody thinks New York's going to get the #1 pick.
Zion and NY. That's Zion and NY. That's what I want to see.
I want to see Zion in New York, but I would also like to see him in Chicago. I think Chicago would be pretty cool.
That would be also cool. Yeah.
But yeah, we're not talking about Zion yet. It's not draft lottery time. We're not even close to the NBA draft yet. So Monty Williams signs his 5-year deal, chooses Phoenix over LA. And LA had the LeBron factor too, and Monty chose long-term security. Second on the list, once Monty picked Phoenix, it seemed like it was all clear-cut. Ty Lue is going to be the next coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Seemed like it for a week. He even had a cake for his birthday. Said, "Happy birthday, coach," with a Lakers logo on the cake. Guess what? He's moved on from the Lakers offer. The Lakers offered 3 years, $18 million. That was said to be the breaking point in discussions. Not that the Lakers wanted to pick some of his associate coaches, but there's still differences if that was a reason why. Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, Jeannie the owner, Rob the acting general manager who is assumed to be the general manager moving forward since Magic left, they wanted Ty Lue. For some reason, the Lakers trust Kurt Rambis for opinions in the coaching matter. When was Kurt successful as an NBA coach? Why are they taking his opinions so heavily? And because Kurt wasn't the one that signed off, they seem to drag this thing through the mud, which inevitably left Ty Lue leaving, a championship-oriented coach, a coach that knows how to deal with LeBron, probably the absolute best fit, walked away from the job because they trust Kurt freaking Rambis.
Because he's a Laker. This is where the Lakers
He's the
franchise has come.
He's the only NBA mind that they have.
Exactly. If they have a guy that was on one of their championship teams giving them advice, they're gonna listen. That's what it's come to. With the Magic gone, they're scrambling, and Kurt came and tried, and apparently he's trying to save the day. So this is the type of franchise they are. They're so steeped in lore and winning and legends and championships that even though you have all that great, at some point when it comes to times like this, they're going to try to hang on the legends, and they're going to try to hang on guys that were a part of winning cultures, and they're just going to try to scramble and say, okay, you guys, tell us what to do. What do we do? Obviously, Ty Lue should have been the coach, but this guy was on our old championship teams. We have to trust him. They don't know what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. Fans are revolting right now, and it's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Isn't tomorrow they're going to do a protest?
They're supposed to be
so
protesting at Staples, I believe,
Tomorrow.
because they hate their
Funny
franchise.
times, man.
I can't wait for it to flip upside down, and now the Clippers are going to be the best franchise in LA.
It's so great. I love Steve Ballmer.
I'm going to pose a question to you guys. Are the Lakers more dysfunctional than the New York Knicks?
Oh,
Currently.
Yes.
yeah, I would
That's
say so.
crazy.
And that is,
I think the
that is
Knicks are
with LeBron James.
the
which
Knicks
is
are
insane.
turning it around. So
The Knicks have more of a plan than the Lakers. The Lakers, their first problem was they didn't stick with the plan of the young guys. Their plan was,
Okay, if LeBron wants to come to your team, you got to make moves. I'm sorry.
You do.
I disagree with that.
I
If
mean-
LeBron says, LA, I
But-
want to come there.
but if
you know
LeBron-
what? We'll make it work.
But if LeBron is coming, then why do you still stick with the young guys instead of
Well,
trying to ship them off?
My issue isn't more so with them sticking with the young guys. My issue is let's put playmakers around LeBron because that makes sense. LeBron is like Magic Johnson when you compare him to former NBA greats.
You need certain types of
You
guys
need
around
spot.
LeBron.
Why are you trying to be the smartest person in the room? Put shooters around LeBron. Get a physical big man, a rim runner,
He does.
and you're
he
good
does,
to go.
He does need another 1 or 2 playmakers though, like Kyrie.
Okay,
yeah.
one
He needs-
more.
Yeah, he
He-
needs.
you don't want a
somebody
team of
to take.
playmakers.
I know somebody to take pressure off of him. Cleveland, Miami, like
Okay.
like it's always been. Shooters, a few guys to take pressure off of him. Some tough guys down low. That's how it goes. with
We are
LeBron.
3 random dudes doing a podcast, and we can tell you
The LeBron
that
formula.
that was a bad move
Yeah.
to sign Rajon Rondo to put with Lonzo Ball, who's also a playmaker,
Exactly.
add Lance Stevenson, who also needs the ball in his hands, and give all 3 of those guys major minutes playing with LeBron. It doesn't make sense.
You let go of Lou Williams. You let go of Brook Lopez.
Yeah, Lou will.
These are guys you let go of. Was it a year before or 2 years before?
I
think it was
Brook
2 years
Lopez.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2.
They let go of Brook and Lou 2 years before. They wanted to go with a young guy playing.
No, Brook Lopez played there last year.
That was last year?
Yeah,
Was it?
Brook was there last year.
Okay.
They should have kept Brook. Yeah.
I thought Timothy Mozgov was last year.
Timothy was in Orlando.
Oh,
Yeah,
Brook
I think
didn't,
we're thinking
Brook
a couple
didn't
years
play
back.
a whole lot.
He was their starting center.
I know, but he still didn't play a whole lot.
Still, I mean,
You
LeBron.
can start and not play.
That's true. Very true. Very true.
Just because they thought he was going to have another injury-riddled season like he'd been having before, and then
They're just so dysfunctional.
that's like a Pistons thing to do. Like you get rid of a guy that's not producing very well, and then all of a sudden you just produce.
Well, Pistons do it with young players.
it
Chris
seems like
Middleton.
ever since the D'Angelo Russell move, they've
another move.
been somewhat downhill ever since.
Magic needed a
because
leader.
they wouldn't let him mature. They wouldn't let him grow as a person.
I mean,
he was 19 years old.
We can also touch on the D'Angelo stuff a little bit later too. Come
Nah,
on, dude.
we don't need
Wait,
to.
That is the
Wait till you get to the next location to get what you need.
That is-
that's all I'll say.
that is just Shaqtin' a fool of the year of years in the future. Like you cannot. That's
He'll be fine.
but in so many ankles. Like he was so stupid with that whole situation.
Yeah.
My gosh. But yeah.
If people don't know, D'Angelo Russell tried to hide marijuana in an Arizona iced tea can,
Yeah.
which, if people
It's a
didn't
liquid.
know, liquids cannot be brought on airplanes. So,
He still has a lot of growing to do. He's still a very young man.
it's weird.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense.
He'll
Yeah.
learn from it.
But yeah, it's crazy to me that as of right now, the Lakers are the most dysfunctional team in the NBA. Other coaching candidates currently, since Ty Lue's out of the picture, Monty's out of the picture, they've interviewed Juwan Howard, and they are going to interview Frank Vogel. Is that correct, Joe? Or they have
Yeah,
interviewed him?
I don't know if that's today or coming up, but he's like their 5th candidate that they'll have interviewed.
And they've interviewed. It seems like if I'm going to put my money anywhere, Jason Kidd seems to be the guy to be the favorite currently. And then Adrian Wojnarowski hasn't reported they've interviewed him or have interest in him. All he's reported over the last couple days since this whole Ty Lue situation has begun is that Kurt Rambis is very high on Lionel Hollins, and he could see Lionel Hollins coming back into coaching for the right opportunity.
I'd rather see him than any other of the candidates.
I think he's the best coach.
I think
but
him,
to be
him and
thrown
LeBron
in-
would mesh a lot.
To be
better.
thrown in that situation, I don't know.
It'll be interesting.
Because the way that he runs his offenses are completely different.
You know what I'm all for? I want Stan Van Gundy coaching the Lakers.
Yikes.
Oh, for pure NBA entertainment purposes.
Let's get the whole Van Gundy family
I guess if
in
it
there. Let's
gets
get
him-
Jeff as the assistant.
I guess if it gets Stan off the ESPN desk, I'll be okay with that.
So he's so bad on the desk.
I want to hear him and his brother commentate every game. it's so funny. It is the funniest.
Oh boy.
Let's jump to that's enough Lakers talk for right now. I'm sure we'll talk about them more. First series that wrapped up last night. The Bucks gentlemen sweep the Boston Celtics. 4-1 series win. End of an extremely odd season for the Boston Celtics. Where do the Celtics go from here? What do you expect from them in the summer, Malik?
I feel like Kyrie is definitely gone. I feel like
Well, okay, let me lay it out for you. Kyrie has a player option and he's going to exercise that, being an unrestricted free agent. Al Horford has a player option, probably 50-50 if he exercises that to be an unrestricted free agent. Marcus Morris is an unrestricted free agent. Terry Rozier is a restricted free agent.
I feel like the next few years will be very rough for Brad Stevens because I feel like the fans are about to start getting really antsy. They've seen the development for a potential championship team, and they're going to start getting angry that none of it is starting to work out. They know Brad Stevens is a really good coach, but they got to start pinning it on somebody eventually. If the superstars start leaving and you have an okay group of talent, but your coach is known as the next great guy, I feel like it's going to be a rough few years for him. And I hope they can bring in some more stars. Danny Ainge can work some more magic. But I feel like Brad Stevens is going to have some teams where he's really going to have to show how good of a coach he is over the next few years, because the rosters might not be as strong as they've been the past few years.
If I'm not mistaken, I think this was the conclusion of Brad Stevens' sixth season in the NBA, because he missed the playoffs his first year and then made it, I believe, the next 5. Just to clear that up. Joey, what do you expect from Boston in the offseason? This is a huge offseason for this franchise.
I think they're going to get better.
Okay, let's calm down here.
I'm just saying straight up. I think they're going to get better.
All right, how so? How do they get better?
They're going to lose Kyrie Irving, and I think that's going to turn it back into what it was last year, more or less, of where the young guys are going to be able to step up. They're going to get to show their talents. I think, kind of like a lot of people have been saying, the young guys are feeling inferior lately. The one thing that they'll still have to figure out is Gordon Hayward going forward.
I was just going to say, they got to figure out that small forward situation.
They're kind of loaded at that position.
I mean, before you move any further, because I agree with you that I think Kyrie's going, they're going to go more towards that youth movement like you've described. Gordon Hayward situation. If the Pistons strike out on other big names,
oh yeah,
I could totally see.
I was about to say the Pistons should definitely take advantage of the Celtics having too many forwards.
Yeah, and I think Gordon Hayward could be had. It's a risk because he hasn't been the same player.
He's been getting back into his groove lately.
He's shown signs.
Yeah. He's shown signs.
He shouldn't have come back so early.
He's clearly not the player he was, though.
Right.
I think he'll get back to All-Star for a few years.
It's a risk you take, though. Yeah. If you're the Pistons, that's the type of move you have to make if you want to be competitive with the Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond duo.
Oh, yeah. It'd be easy.
Continue. Sorry, Joe.
But yeah, I just think that they're going to get back to kind of what they were last year going forward, where they can start developing the young talent. I think they need to get Al Horford back, though. I think he's kind of a key piece for them.
Aaron Baines is a free agent as well.
Whatever.
Whoa. I would
whatever that.
Not going to lie. If Aaron Baines, I want Aaron Baines as a Piston again. He would be awesome.
I could care less.
I liked him when he was here. He surprised me about how much he actually gave the team.
I mean, I don't mind him, but it's like
he only gives you so much,
really
but what he gives you is important at a lot of times.
So I don't know exactly what they're gonna do. I don't think they're gonna get like AD. I don't think they're gonna make a big splash, but they might just be able to get key pieces that help them out. Obviously, their big concern will be replacing Kyrie.
Well, I don't think that's a big concern. I think they have that already planned out. It's gonna be Terry.
You think Terry's gonna take over?
They're gonna get 100%. I think Terry's their guy. I think that's Brad Stevens' guy.
Do you think they pay him?
I think they pay him
as much as he wants.
Whatever a team signs him to, they'll let him determine his market because he's restricted. It's not like
I bet
he'll sign an offer sheet and the Celtics will match because there's no better point guard on the market that will consider them. Kemba's not going to consider Boston.
Why not?
I think
because Kemba is either going to sign the Supermax with Charlotte, or he's going to wherever Kyrie doesn't go in Brooklyn or New York. I think those are the two. Or if LeBron makes a strong pitch with LA. I don't think there's any chance Kemba considers Boston. I mean, maybe
I can agree with that. I think he'd consider it. He'd
take an interview.
Yeah,
he'd take a sit down meeting with them, but he's not going to truly put them as a top team to consider, in my opinion. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Personally, I think Kyrie's. I mean, we are all on the same page here. Kyrie's gone. You can see it in the body language. He just doesn't mesh with his team. If I'm Boston, if I'm smart, I sign Terry Rozier, stick with my young guys, try to trade Gordon Hayward to a sucker like Detroit, and just keep building. Because you have so many draft picks too. Just embrace the youth. Because you saw how good they were without Kyrie and Gordon Hayward last year. Embrace your youth. You don't have to use all these assets now. Wait for KD to leave. See how everything shakes out, and then make your move. Okay. I'm going to give you the 3 teams in the list of 3, 2, 1 of teams for Kyrie to go to. My number 3 and this is including the Celtics. My number 3 is Brooklyn. My number 2, Los Angeles Lakers. Number 1, New York Knicks. Do you guys agree with that list?
I would
I'll
put
put Brooklyn too.
Is there any other team outside that top 3?
I would flip flop those as well.
Which one?
The
I'll
Lakers
put,
and
I'll
Brooklyn.
put Brooklyn.
See,
too.
I think Kyrie he just rekindled his relationship with LeBron.
I think that's all just
You think?
smoke.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they're friends no matter what. I'm sure. Yeah, they're gonna play pickup in the summer, and everybody's gonna be putting the eye emojis like Lakers 2020.
LeBron will
But-
add Kyrie to the banana.
When it
boat.
comes down to it, Kyrie is a East Coast New Jersey kid.
Yeah.
Brooklyn, New York. That is the way he plays. The way he plays in his soul is New York. It's Jersey, Brooklyn, New York.
To be quite frank
what
with
he
you,
is.
I think KD and Kyrie are both, unless something crazy happens, are both set on joining the Knicks this summer. I think it's almost done.
That's expected at this point.
Unless the Knicks don't get Zion.
No, even if they don't get Zion, because they can sign Kyrie and KD outright.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, I feel like that'd be even more incentive.
Oh yeah, of course. But KD needs to do something. He said that winning the championships in Golden State isn't as fulfilling as he thought it would be. Yeah, clearly you're playing with the best roster assembled.
Well, because he realized how easy it was.
Yeah, so KD's gonna take one of the hardest challenges. No, the hardest challenge, making New York a contender.
I don't know. Not if they not the way that the NBA works now. Like the way you can flip teams quickly if you rally
bring another
guys.
star
Yeah.
too. Yeah. One last question about the Celtics before we move on. In your opinion, is Brad Stevens on the hot seat this summer?
No.
No
I agree
way.
with you guys. Yeah.
No way at all.
I've heard people
I think
bring
it'll
up
get
like
tougher for him.
there's not even many good coaching candidates out there that I
Right.
consider. Plus, he's had 6 or 7 years he's been coaching the Celtics. He's had nothing but good things.
Exactly.
He didn't have a good year this year. He had to deal with so many distractions. The whole Kyrie Gordon Hayward experiment just didn't work out. How he coaches young players, and depending on the direction this team wants to go in, if that's the direction is to stay with the youth movement, there's no better coach.
I think there's a really good chance they surprise next season.
I'm really interested to see how everything
with
shakes out.
Yeah, with that young core and the way he gets the most out of the teams he has. You saw with those Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder teams. He can get the most out of a team, and they believe in his system.
I miss
So,
Isaiah Thomas.
Let's not even bring it up.
I wish
So
he was
sad.
playing in the playoffs.
Yeah, they don't need him. But I miss Isaiah Thomas when he played with the Celtics. Let's go on to the next series. Started off as kind of a flat series. Warriors Rockets has turned into the best series in the NBA.
No.
Ah,
What?
Have you guys not watched the last 2 games?
Yeah,
Listen.
they had a turnover and Klay Thompson ended up with a layup.
They were fantastic games.
I
Did you just watch the highlights on SportsCenter the day after?
Pretty much, and that's
For
all I
me,
needed.
Oh my god.
listen at this point.
Oh my god.
At this point, I don't like watching James Harden play basketball.
Thank you.
I don't
Thank you.
I don't like watching Steph have to struggle to get into a rhythm. I don't like watching Clay have to get into a rhythm every 3 or 4 games. It's not good. It's not fun to watch to me. It really
See,
isn't.
watching the Warriors potentially lose a series is the most fun for me.
It's
I don't care. I
interesting.
don't care where it comes from. I just want the Warriors to lose.
So even when it's 2-2, you start to like bandwagon up.
I mean, if it gets to a game
Okay,
7, I'm gonna watch
I'm
it.
We have all these series are good.
Denver, Portland is an insane series.
Last
right
game
now,
was a blowout.
besides the blowout.
There was 2 blowouts in that series. Warriors Rockets has had no blowouts.
That 4 overtime game alone pushes it.
That was one of the best games in NBA playoff history. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
And
take that
I
away
think
from
that
them.
Philly Toronto series is the best right now. It's been the most interesting. It's been the most up and down. It's been great story.
I have a lot of stuff to touch on that when we get to it.
I think
but
we all do.
yeah, there's a lot of things that we can unravel there. Let's stay focused though with Warriors Rockets. So KD left last night with a strained calf. What really it looked like an Achilles. When it first happened, the way he's carrying his foot to the bench, it looked like an Achilles injury. They say it's a calf strain. I don't know. It looks like Achilles. He'll miss the rest of the Western Conference semis. This, right now, is the best chance the Rockets will have of beating Golden State. What?
That
You're talking like all the people last year.
That is funny because that's exactly.
No, but KD is okay.
It's the same
This
thing.
is-
But
last
last
year.
year they didn't have. Last year they had KD,
I know.
and they
but-
didn't have Chris Paul and PJ Tucker.
But
right,
it's,
everybody
but it's,
freaked out, and they're like, "Oh, the Rockets would have won."
but it's like this is the last shot.
I'm not
the
saying
Rockets
it's the
have.
last, but I'm saying it's the
that's,
best.
That's what it seems like.
But it's
this
the
is
best
the best.
chance.
It also seems like the last. Like it just seems.
Well,
like
it's another year.
this is
Chris Paul's older.
It seems like this is also the last time. It's the one for the Rockets. This might be the last time. This is the one chance.
This
And it
is-
seems like they've had their one chance a few times.
well, they already
but
had.
this is the
Well,
one.
I think they're.
yeah.
I mean, before KD got hurt, their best chance was last year. You're taking out a guy that is averaging 35 points per game, is the focal point of the best team in the NBA. You take him out,
And
and the Rockets are still completely healthy. Chris Paul
Yeah.
is not hurt like last year. PJ Tucker is not hurt. They're not beaten up. You cannot say that this is not the Rockets' best chance.
And
I'm not saying it's the last.
Oh, it
I'm not-
is.
I'm
This
not
is
saying
their
it's the
best
last.
chance.
This is their best chance.
And Golden State's bench isn't producing them, but Sean Livingston looks like a ghost. I
It-
need him to retire.
Andre Iguodala's been hit or miss. I mean, he's
Yeah.
had his moments, but he's not been as consistent as he has been.
But listen, KD is out. If Steph turns into Steph again,
KD was out the
That's
entire
all it
fourth
takes.
quarter, and the Rockets did nothing. James Harden shied away again. He disappeared. They didn't do anything. You would think, okay,
Did you not
the
watch
best player,
the game, Joey?
the best player in the
Did
NBA,
you not watch the game,
just
Joey?
goes out of the game, and now the Rockets aren't in.
Joey,
You would think the Rockets would come alive, and they.
they were the
Oh yeah,
Steph-
they came alive enough to lose the game.
Steph and Clay were fantastic.
Exactly, because they step up in the time of need.
they're the two best shooters in NBA history. Two of the top 4 best shooters in NBA history.
And that's
Steph hasn't been stepping up a lot this series.
But they did in that
He's
fourth
been
quarter.
kinda-
That's why
yeah,
that's
that
why the
fourth
Rockets
quarter,
didn't
yeah.
win that game.
and
'Cause
nobody else.
When
Nobody
them-
for the Rockets stepped up.
When them two are on,
They
there's
did
no way you
step
can beat.
up. They could not counter. They could not counter how crazy efficient Steph and Clay were.
Joey, there's no way your team can win when them two are on like
That's
that.
what I'm
it's
saying.
impossible.
I get that, but that's also what I'm saying is that you would think that like even with that then the Rockets would maybe play a little bit tougher defense on Steph Curry and
They
Klay
were
Thompson,
playing
and
tough
then
defense.
they don't
As
have
tough as
anybody
they
else.
can- as
You
tough
can
as they
literally
can.
play
Besides
as tough
James
as they
Harden.
were.
They just can't do it. Like they can't get themselves into an attack
Listen,
mode.
last year's Houston team was better than this one.
Yeah, I agree
So
with that,
I
but they
still
were
think
unhealthy.
I still think there's a chance Houston could lose this series.
well, I think
Just because the fact
they're
that
down 3-2.
Yeah.
Also, it's not that they're up 3-2 like last year.
and Chris Paul was out of his mind in the playoffs last year before he got
Got
hurt,
hurt,
and he's
yeah.
he's not looking like the same
Yeah.
guy this
Yeah.
this year.
True. If the Rockets, they've been talking a lot, talking about how they were stolen an NBA championship from last year.
Sure.
If the Rockets want to back up all their talk, they need to win this series. They got to put up or shut up. That's what it comes down to with all the talk that
Golden
that's
State
been
is a
going on.
3-2, right?
Yeah. Do you think the Rockets win the series down 3-2 currently?
Nope. Nope.
Joey, you're a no too.
No.
Them winning 2 games in a row.
Do you think it's over in 6? Do you think Golden State wins in Game 6? Or does it go back to Oracle?
Mm.
I think it goes back to Oracle at least.
I think they win Game 6.
You have no confidence.
I don't like the Rockets.
You
I'll
like
say,
the Warriors
I'll say it
better.
straight up.
So I don't have I don't have a lot of confidence in them either because when James is off, what are they depending on if James is off?
Right.
That's the thing. He has to score at least like 35 points a game. He might have to score 40 a game these next 2 games for them to win both.
Besides,
And it's possible that he can, but I don't know, man. I don't
besides the Cleveland series when Cleveland won the championship, the Warriors have always been really good at closeout games.
know. Yeah,
You know who's been really bad at closeout games?
James
James Harden.
Harden. James Harden.
The Warriors are going to step up their defense in Game 6, and unless Steph and Clay have another bad game, then maybe there's a chance to go 7. But
I think
if just one of them starts going off, if it's Steph Curry, if Steph Curry has a good game, they win.
I think the both of them, I think they're going to be looking at each other this entire game. I think they're going to be on. I think they're going to be locked in. The Splash Brothers will.
I think they're going to use Draymond back into even more of a facilitator than he has been recently. Now that KD,
I say they win this next game. Yeah,
Who?
the
Golden
Warriors.
State?
I think Steph and Clay get back to business, and Draymond gets back to what he was known as before this year. I think they win it in a commanding way. I think it's gonna be a shocking win.
No.
Yeah. 8 or 9
No.
I think it might be
8 or 9
too.
point win.
That's not commanding.
8 or 9 point
That's
win.
not commanding.
Well, in this close series that
in
you
this
said.
in this series, yeah.
That can be
Commanding.
no, because it can be a 4-point game going into under a minute left in the game, and then free throws make it 8 or 9. No, that's not commanding. To me is about 15.
I think near the end of the game, James is just chucking up threes. I think it'll be up to 16 or 17 threes with like 5 or 6 minutes left in the fourth. And yeah,
Guess we'll have to find out.
I think Steph, Clay, and Draymond. I think them three. I think they close it out.
Could also be the Warriors could also be up 15 with about 25 seconds to go, and
That's
then
true, too.
the Rockets just make
Yeah,
a couple last
true.
second threes.
I'm not going out on that limb. I think it'll still probably be close down
Thank
to like
you.
4 or 5 minutes, but I think Steph and Clay, they're just going to be on fire.
I think all it takes is Steph. Anytime he gets going for that team, it's completely different than when anybody else in the league, I think, has a good game.
Clay too.
I can agree with that. All right, let's go back out east. We'll find out the winner of that series, apparently, according to you guys, since the Warriors are going to win in 6 on Friday. Raptors-Sixers series, 3-2 Raps lead currently. Game 6 tonight, tips off at 8 p.m. Do the Raptors close it out in Philly tonight? Joey.
Is Joel Embiid is playing, right?
He is playing.
I think they do.
What's his health look like?
That's
That's the question that has to be.
It's questionable every night.
Oh Jesus!
That's true.
I say yes. I think I think it was last week that I said that KD has been the best playoff player. Kawhi passed him.
second.
I think Kawhi passed him.
I still can't say
just
that.
in recent, in this round, I guess. But
You can make
for
an
right
argument.
now, I think
Yeah,
Kawhi is the best player
can make
in the playoffs.
He's
just at the
he's
moment.
unconscious.
Just the way he's played at the efficiency level that he's played, and because he's played more defense than I think KD has so far, that I think Kawhi has been outstanding. He's surprised me. So I think they're going to figure it out.
Malik, do the Raptors close this one out tonight?
I think it could go to OT, but I think the Raptors do close it out.
In Philadelphia.
I think this Joel Embiid thing, it's becoming a bit of a controversy.
Well, I think
with
more
that
so,
team.
my concern is less of Joel Embiid and more so of how much Ben Simmons has been a non-factor in the series because of his style of play and how he needs the ball in his hands, and so does Jimmy Butler.
When Joel is on the court, Ben Simmons can't be his best player. And that's something Philadelphia is going to have to figure out. Ben Simmons can't be – you saw in that Brooklyn game where Ben Simmons had like 30 and like 13 and missed like 2 shots. Joel wasn't on the floor. He could do whatever he wanted. He played the best game he might have played all season. When Joel is on the floor, he can't be himself totally. And Jimmy Butler's playing really good. I love what Jimmy's been doing. Tobias hasn't been able to get into a flow of the game. It's something they're going to have to
The problem
figure
with
out.
Philly is they're not built properly.
They're not.
There are 3 stars to be extremely effective and be the best player possible. All need to be creators. All need the ball in their hands.
Either Ben
Jimmy, and
needs
Joel.
to not be there or Joel needs to not be there.
They're one of those
And they
3.
gotta make that
they
decision.
they need to. Yeah, I agree with you. They need to make a decision and move one of those big 3.
I think Joel goes. Eventually.
What?
I think they trade Joel.
No, Joel is the process. He is the whole. He is that franchise. They will not move Joel.
If you stick with Joel, you won't get close to a
See,
championship.
I would say
again.
more so Ben Simmons.
I
Oh,
think
it's so tough.
With,
actually.
without Joel and with it being Ben and Jimmy and Ben controlling everything, that team flows so much better. They just do.
What were you gonna say, Joe?
I just think having a big playmaker like Ben Simmons is so important in the
Especially
NBA
in
right
today's
now.
game.
Yeah, and I understand that Joel Embiid is actually almost unstoppable when he's healthy, but I think the health is actually a big concern. He cannot stay consistent. He'll average 30 and 12 all season, and then all of a sudden he gets hurt, and then he can't do anything. And I just think the way that they're built, I think that Philadelphia plays the best when JJ Redick's their leading scorer.
Imagine if Al Horford.
I mean, I guess to Jimmy Butler to an extent, but I just think when JJ has a good game, that's when Philadelphia's at their best.
Imagine if Al Horford was their starting center instead of Joel Embiid. I think they would be a better team. I think they'd be a better team.
I disagree.
I don't know if I fully agree, but I can kind of understand. I think they're just having they're having a chemistry issue of too many good players, which is odd to say because I thought that they were role player enough that it would have worked. But yeah, I think Tobias has struggled. Jimmy Butler's been on and off. This series has been pretty good. Ben Simmons has kind of gone away.
Jimmy is a guy that's going to get his.
Ben Simmons
you don't have to worry about him.
Ben Simmons has been a non-factor this series.
Yeah.
Completely.
But I agree with Malik where if you get rid of Joel, I think that increases Ben Simmons' play.
Well, yeah. Because then he'll be the most dominant inside force on that team.
I think it's easier to get a replacement for Joel Embiid, even though Joel Embiid is so good that he's probably the best center in the league. But I just think that position has lost so much of its impact on the game that it's easier to replace than a point guard like Ben Simmons.
When it's just been everybody on the floor gets a piece of the pie. Tobias Harris would be going in the series, I think, if it was just Ben distributing and doing his thing.
See, I think it could be marketing suicide if they trade Joel Embiid. And
I
would hurt.
do agree with that point.
It would hurt.
And at the end of the day,
and the fan base.
At the end of the day, we have to keep this. When we talk about decisions these NBA franchises have to make, we have to keep in mind their main objective is not winning championships. Their main objective is making money.
That is, I'm sorry, that's a problem, and I don't think that's completely true, because
you get incentives for winning.
Rick Barry broke down the Warriors and rebuilt them, and the fans were booing them at games at times when they drafted Steph and they got rid of Monte Ellis and completely redid the image. Rick Barry said, "All of you, shut up, pay attention to what we're doing. We're gonna win soon." And
that's one example of that working.
It is,
but
and Philadelphia is harder to convince.
Of all the fan bases, Philadelphia is a volatile.
But I feel like if they were able to go out on that ledge and tell everybody, "Trust us, you've seen what we've done already. We have pieces. We could do this." I think sooner or later fans would understand.
Winning solves everything.
It does. Winning solves.
You better win. What were you going to say, Joe, before Malik and I just took over the mix?
I don't really remember.
All right.
It's okay. It wasn't like crazy important.
Let's go more towards the Toronto side of things in this series. You talked about Kawhi being the best player in the playoffs currently. He passed KD. Is he the most clutch player in the NBA currently?
No.
Who is?
Kyrie Irving.
Malik. Malik, I'm gonna let you you can rebuff that. You can come back with a new answer. I will. This is a free. I won't roast you.
I'm going by Kyrie's career, not just this season in the playoffs. I'm going by what.
If Kyrie doesn't hit that one
career.
shot to win an NBA championship, I think there's a huge difference in your opinion of him.
I agree.
But that lifted him, but I think he's been hitting
Look
clutch
at
shots
what he
and playing
did.
big in the clutch.
If Kyrie was the most clutch player in the NBA, he would not have only scored 103 points while shooting 104 shots in a 5-game series. He was terrible. He was shooting.
Okay, I can agree. He might not be number one right now.
Okay, that I'm not saying is he. I'm not saying he's not
I was
clutch.
basically going. I was going off a career, and I've seen him hit clutch shots regular season, playoffs, and of course the final shot lifted him. But even in the playoffs,
I'm saying currently.
Yeah.
I'm saying currently, and you have to take into effect what just happened.
And in the regular season, Kyrie hit a bunch of clutch shots too. But yeah, in these playoffs, it wasn't pretty.
He literally ended the season in the worst way possible for his clutch rating.
Kawhi's been a clutch monster right now. That shot he hit in Philly, that leaning three, that gets you up to legendary status when you hit stuff like that.
So
Damian Lillard is an argument.
It is.
I agree. Yeah.
I think KD is always an argument, even though he hasn't really had clutch shots
I'm
in
gonna
the
say
playoffs.
I'm gonna agree with you. I think it's Damian Lillard. I mean, just the
that
moments,
one shot
the
alone.
moments, the one shot to win the series, the moments he had in the quadruple overtime game as well. Also, I think it was game 3 the quadruple overtime game. I think it was. So I'm gonna say game 4. There was a spot where Jamal Murray and Damian Lillard were going back and forth. Late game situation, they ended up losing. But the only reason they stayed in that game is because Lillard hit 4 straight clutch shots, difficult shots. That guy has no fear. He is more clutch than Kyrie, in my opinion. Yes, Kyrie has that one huge shot, but Damian Lillard is the most clutch player in the NBA, I think.
And sometimes, I guess it hasn't been this playoffs, so we can't really talk about it entirely, but I think Steph is one of the best closers in the NBA just because of the way that his shots will silence a crowd or ignite the oracle. I think just the impact that he has late game situations when he makes threes, it's like more energy than anybody else in the league.
I think in the playoffs, he's only had a few moments of showing that off, and he's come up small in a lot of moments.
Right.
I
agree.
That's what
I'm saying. Kind of.
That's why people criticize him a lot in the playoffs, but he's had some series where, like 2016, was 2015. That was the first year they won the finals, right?
The Warriors.
Yeah. That finals, he was out of his mind against the Cavaliers.
Mhm.
He was a video game in that series.
Steph?
Yeah.
From what I recall, until the last few games, they were saying how Delhi was the Curry stopper. They lost that series in 6.
There was that
but Dellavedova had a few games.
There was that
one
one game where Delhi had 20 and.
Well, I'm not even talking about scoring, but Delhi had Steph's number. I think defensive. I think Steph had a really good playoff run up until the finals.
I think he was annoying Steph, and then after a game and a half, Steph got right back to what he was doing. Other people overhyped the Curry stopper stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah, Curry he's had up and down playoff performances. Yeah.
Are you guys still both taking Toronto to win the series?
Yeah.
Even if it goes 7, I'm taking Toronto.
I think Philly's got too many question marks.
If they were healthy, I think it would be different.
Too much somewhat drama.
Yeah. Blazers Nuggets 3-2 Nuggets lead in that series.
I love this series.
Nuggets
so
smoked the Blazers in Game 5, not even close. Won by 26. Can Blazers force a Game 7 tonight? I say yes. I think this is this series
it would
is
be fitting.
Destined to go 7.
I would love it to go 7.
And I'm taking Portland to win in 7.
I like it.
Dang.
I like it.
I think this is Damian Lillard's time to shine in the NBA. It's his coming out party.
It would be a fun redemption story.
It would be my favorite redemption story we've seen in so long.
I want one of these teams to be in the finals.
I agree.
As much as I do like to see the Warriors play, and I would like them to get a three-peat and just be done and fizzle.
Wouldn't. They'll fizzle either way because KD's gone.
I don't think they fizzle. I mean, I don't think they'll be contending every year, but I think they'll do just as good.
Well, they'll still be just as good? No.
Yeah, I think they will.
No.
Because they lose KD and they're going to have a bunch of money again.
But who is out there that they are going to replace him with? There's nobody at KD's
I don't think it
level.
really matters. I think they
Kawhi.
can get almost
goes
everybody.
To the Bay.
Hey, it wouldn't surprise me anymore.
I would be like, all right, I'm done with this league. I can't.
You know that on ESPN the next day, they would just say, Kawhi Leonard has signed with the Golden State Warriors, and then they'd play that clip of Kawhi's laugh. That'd be great.
But yeah, Blazers Nuggets seems destined to go 7. Are you guys picking Nuggets? Joey, seems like you're leaning Nuggets.
Oh, man, I don't know.
The Nuggets are playing with so much confidence right now. From their starting lineup to all the guys off the bench are giving them so much right now. It's so impressive seeing those young guys, Malik Beasley, Monte Morris, who just really got into the league a few years ago. Mason Plumlee is giving them a lot of stuff off the bench. Like, Torrey Craig is playing the best basketball of his career.
Torrey Craig,
and he hasn't been playing that
Torrey
long.
Craig is one of my favorite stories in the NBA.
Exactly.
Like, nobody unless you're a true NBA fan or you're a Denver Nuggets fan, that sounds like an NBA auto-generated name.
It does. He sounds like a generic
2K. Generic 2K
At the start
player.
of this season, he was on my generic 2K player list of guys that just appeared.
He's got the double first name.
Yes, it's so weird, but that whole team is just, they believe in each other so strongly. And Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, man,
deepest team.
That duo right there. Next year, they are gunning for the number 1 duo in the league.
They're the deepest team in the playoffs.
I said they're not close to being there yet. But do you see how them two are playing right? They're the first duo to have back-to-back games of 30 points and a triple-double since Magic and Kareem in the 80s. These kids,
well, that's a dumb.
these
to me,
young
that's a
dudes,
dumb stat.
Why?
You love stats.
I love
the
stats,
level
but that's
that
a
they're
dumb
playing
stat.
on right now.
It's a dumb stat.
No other guard and big duo
That's
have
like
been
we're
doing
looking.
that.
It's like we're looking for stats. Oh, look
and
at
they're
this.
winning.
It's like- would you agree with me,
Not
Joe?
Kobe and Shaq. Not I don't know other duos, but
But-
come on.
You have to
Michael and Scotty.
You have to look at the level that these two guys are playing at right now.
no, they're.
how
I'm not taking
elevating
anything
their
from.
team.
No, no,
Yeah.
they're.
I think the
playing
biggest thing
fantastic.
too is like they're not even rostering like Isaiah Thomas, like we talked about. He's
exactly.
a all-star 2 years ago, almost MVP candidate, almost winner. Even a guy like Tyler Lydon, who's shown signs of being a young guy that's found a role, he's already been replaced. Like this team is so deep. Michael Porter Jr. is still on the mend,
Exactly.
and he could become crazy insane. And then I don't know what this team does because they'll have way too much talent.
Who are you picking?
My head says the Nuggets, but my heart says the Blazers.
So what are you going with?
Blazers.
In 7? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what
I'm
it
going
was.
Nuggets in 7.
Blazers in 6.
Interesting. Interesting take. That's a hot take for sure.
And you, what'd you say? Sorry.
Nuggets in 7.
Yeah, I'm taking Blazers in 7. All right.
CJ McCollum better be an all-star next year. I don't know how it needs to happen. I don't know who needs to move out the way or knock on wood. I hope nobody gets injured. But CJ McCollum needs to be an all-star sooner or later. He is ridiculous.
He's got.
I'm
He's
loving that
Crazy.
He's got to go east.
Rodney Hood
He might have to.
is finally proving that
He'll be a great Piston.
It was
It's-
Cleveland's fault.
it's yeah. Well, that's what I thought the whole time. I was like, this guy played good at Utah. Now he comes to Cleveland and he's not even playing. That doesn't make sense. And now he's on the Blazers and he's playing great again.
2 years ago, I thought he was going to win the Most Improved Player of the Year. I was that high on Rodney Hood.
Yeah.
I'm happy to.
That was a
He's
good,
only 26.
That was a good late season move for them.
to
And
start.
his cancer was a huge move.
Oh, especially with the Nurkic injury, huge replacement. But let's flip the script here. We gotta talk a little Pistons, a little free agent targets. Vince
Oh, boy.
Ellis and Rod Beard. Vince Ellis of the Free Press, Rod Beard of Detroit News came out with lists and targets for the Pistons in free agency. Ellis talked about more so about what the Pistons are actually thinking of, and Rod Beard kind of gave more options. Let's talk about the players that Ellis brought up that the Pistons actually do have interest in the offseason, depending on the direction they want to go with their money. Number 1, and I am so down for this.
I think everybody in
Make it happen.
Detroit.
Derrick Rose. Yes.
No brainer.
Yes.
No brainer.
Not happening.
I would be fine with getting rid of Ish if we got D Rose as a point guard. As
In a
backup.
heartbeat.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Derrick
Wait,
Rose should start.
Yeah, Derrick Rose would start. I don't think he
Because Reggie
would,
would be gone.
but I want him to.
Yeah, he wouldn't start. But
But that would give a good time
Yeah.
to trade Reggie.
that would be
Please.
that would be a good way to also get more fans in because more
Oh,
if,
yeah.
If you're not a really good winning team, at least make it an entertaining team.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with you completely.
They need to go get Melo.
Yes.
Derrick Rose
Yes.
and Melo, that would be so
Can
fun
you-
to watch.
Yes.
People keep harping me for saying this, but like, could you imagine going to a game for the Detroit Pistons where they have Derrick Rose,
and
Carmelo Anthony, Blake Griffin, and Andre, who's a fan favorite?
Yeah.
Plus Luke Kennard, my man.
I think people would.
I would love that.
People would
team.
boo Reggie Jackson
That
more.
would be a great.
That team has a ceiling of 43 wins, but you know what? It'll be
Yeah.
entertaining to get
I was
there.
saying
Exactly.
they would go back to playing half court basketball. It would be slow and boring to watch, but
I disagree. Derrick Rose is a fast-paced guard.
yeah, but that team would not play fast.
Oh, Melo getting up and down the floor.
Yeah.
First of all, he might be mad at first. He couldn't get more touches. Then it would be like, okay, Melo, you just got to stand over there and shoot. You know that, right? Come on, man.
Number 2 on the list, and I think the Pistons are a year too late on this. I've said this last year. I think I even said this the year before. Seth Curry is who they have a lot of interest in. Seth Curry has been one of the most underrated players in the NBA the last couple of years. The dude's been shooting over 40% from 3 his entire career. Why are people just now being like, oh, we should have signed this guy?
I think didn't he have injury concerns in Dallas? Wasn't he hurt a lot?
He had 1 injury.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he
it
won
seemed
injury.
like he was out for a little bit
It was
of
just
a while.
it was a foot injury, and he was out.
Yeah, people just started forgetting about him. It seemed like people just
The
forgot
Pistons
about
of all teams should have signed Seth Curry. They were dumb on their part for not signing him last year. But
him. Keep Langston Galloway, bring him in. You got some snipers.
I like
could get rid of Gallo
I could too, but he
as the season
I mean-
went on.
They depend on him too much because the roster isn't very good. But if you make the roster better, he's a great thing to have.
But yeah, Seth Curry, Pistons are targeting Seth Curry in free agency, depending on how much money he commands, which I think he'll command a decent amount. Statistically, he's a better 3-point shooter career-wise than Steph. Interesting, though. I didn't realize this until I looked it up. He'll be 29 to start next season. Malik pointed out he played 5 years of college basketball, plays a huge role.
That's the thing that people forget about.
But also, the way he plays, he can play until he's like 35, 36. There's no wear and tear on Seth Curry. He's just running around and shooting.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Now, this is for the true sad boy Piston fans. You can't get much more depressed. You went through Charlie Villanueva. You went through Josh Smith. But this is tough. Jeff Green. I mean,
that's who they'll most likely get. In all likelihood, this is the most likely option.
That is very Pistons.
It's so sad. We've gotten to this point.
Well, I think
Jeff Green at this point, I do not want to watch him play anymore.
I used to think he was one of the most underrated players.
He will be on the list of should have, could have, all-stars.
Recently, he's struggled.
No.
He had
Jeff has all the talent.
Years.
Those years in Boston.
He had two. No, his best year was in OKC.
He had the talent to be an all-star. The Boston years were his best years, especially the first. I think, those were his best years.
Anyways, it's sad.
Pistons are going to lose out on all of these because I think
they're going to sign Jeff Green. That's going to happen.
I'm saying like the more marquee,
and I'm going to be so sad.
The more marquee names because the Pistons only have the mid-level and the minimum.
Well, full mid-level is 4 years, $40 million.
I think that somebody's going to give Derrick Rose slightly above mid-level just because of the way that he played this year.
Slightly above mid-level is like $8 million a year.
How much money do you give to a potential six-man of the year?
I just think somebody's going to.
That's the question.
They're going to offer more than the Pistons can.
How much money does Lou Williams make right now?
Well, Lou Williams it's different. He was on a bargain deal. Before he came out, he was signed to that deal. Like just like Marcus Morris, before he had his great season with the Pistons, he was signed for 4 years at $5 million a year.
How much money do you give to a potential six-man of the year? That's
Derrick
the question.
Rose is not a potential six-man of the year.
Why not? He just showed he was.
Well, because Lou Williams still plays in the NBA, and that's Lou Williams award.
That's a potential, not sure thing.
Yeah, I don't know, but
it's possible. In the words of KG, anything is possible.
Okay.
Another name is Patrick Beverley. I don't know.
Well, I got on the list.
Okay,
that won't happen.
That's not going to happen either. Yeah,
but I love Patrick.
Patrick
Beverley
is commanding a lot of money. He's commanding.
I think he's going to get more.
Well, I'd love him in Detroit. He'd fit the mentality. If you could get him, I'd be stoked with that. TJ McConnell, meh. I'd rather have Ish. Like, don't get me wrong.
Watch us
like
get TJ McConnell.
Well, I like TJ, but I'd rather have Ish.
He's a great facilitator.
Watch us get TJ McConnell.
This is gonna be our
TJ and Jeff Green.
Depending on what our bench looks like, I think TJ McConnell would be fine.
Oh, that would be a hell of a summer.
If we have
TJ McConnell and Jeff Green.
Because like right now, Ish Smith fits because we have no bench and we need a scorer off the bench. But if we had some more shooters off the bench, I think TJ McConnell would be fine.
If our free agency signee group is TJ McConnell, Jeff Green, and Eric Moreland.
Listen, man.
If
we bring back Eric Moreland, I'm done with the Pistons.
Hold on. If it's TJ McConnell, Jeff Green, and Eric Moreland, I will, for the first time in my life, put serious thought of like, what am I doing with my fanhood of being a Pistons fan?
You remember the year they brought in Beno Udrih and John Lure, and I think it was like one more person that didn't do anything at the same time.
Well, here's the thing. John Lure was actually good for about 50 games until he fell off a cliff until he was like, oh, wait, I can't play basketball.
Yeah.
But yeah, if that happens, we'll have a whole episode of me deciding if I should stay a Pistons fan.
Well, you better get ready for it.
Derrick Rose is... God, I don't want to be the Debbie.
The Lions are going to...
I really don't.
I'm starting to compare
the Lions need Derrick Rose.
That's a bad sign. But Pistons are going to lose out on all of them.
Yeah, definitely. If they have a positive summer, I will be probably the most surprised person out of all of us.
Bol comes to Detroit in the draft.
How high of a pick are we getting?
All right, guys, let's not.
How high of a pick are we getting?
15. He's dropping on boards.
He's not dropping at 15. He's going top 10.
I don't think so either, but we can hope.
Hope.
Another player the Pistons have interest in, Ricky Rubio. I'd be okay with it. I think Ricky Rubio could command.
He'd be a good point guard for what they're doing.
I'd be okay with giving him the 4 years 40 for the full mid-level. Somehow trade Reggie and then you give him the full.
That'd be all right.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
He doesn't need the ball in his hands.
No, I think he'd fit well. We talked about TJ Patrick, Trevor Ariza.
I think that would be
cool with
solid.
that.
I think that'd be solid because
Do you really think he has more left in the tank?
we have no
He's
forward,
a spot up
though.
shooter nowadays.
Yeah.
He played solid.
He's kind of
this past
changed his
year.
role. We have no forward, Malik.
Malik, we have the worst
Yeah,
wing
Trevor-
rotation
okay,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
NBA by far. It's not even close.
Like, if you're okay with getting Melo on the team, I think you should be okay with having Ariza.
Trevor, Ariza's cool.
Jeff Green would instantly be a starter on this team, Malik.
Yeah, Trevor.
Another wing target, Reggie Bullock. I'd be fine with it, but like it doesn't.
It sounds
do
like
anything for
you
me.
have less enthusiasm the more you keep going.
Wayne Ellington.
His enthusiasm goes down more and more as he.
What if we just- What if we? I just had a revelation. What if we invest in our young players? We have Svatoslav.
What a dream! What a dream!
Wait, what'd you say?
We have Svatoslav, Malik's guy.
Mikhailuk.
You know they're trying to make him into a point guard, right?
Oh Jesus Christ!
whatever they want to do.
Oh,
Whatever they want to do. Hey,
Can we make that a drop? Can we make that a drop, please?
if that gets Reggie out of Detroit, I'm fine. That's all I care.
Miroslav Mikhailuk at the point for the Detroit Pistons.
This one makes me happy. If we could somehow get Rodney Hood, I'd be happy.
That's not gonna happen either.
I know, but I'd be
Are you
happy.
seeing the series that he's having?
I'd be
Are
happy.
you kidding me?
The other two, okay, last two. Marcus Morris,
Welcome back.
I'd be fine with it.
I think he's been playing too good too. He's gonna get more than mid-level.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
So
if he
I
came
think it
back
comes down to
Detroit.
two players. I think the Pistons.
I think he would like to.
Yeah.
But I think he's gonna get more money.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Pistons will throw big money at two players. What?
I'm just nervous.
Ricky Rubio, who we talked about. Like I
Yeah,
could see him giving the
fair.
4 years 40. I could see him giving 4 years 40 to Terrence Ross at 28. He's 28 years old. Best season of his
If
career.
we got Terrence Ross, I'd be really surprised.
He's
I'd be
younger
happy
than
with
Seth
that.
Curry.
It's true.
I think Terrence Ross would be a big sign.
Me too,
actually.
but I'm not sure if I want to give him $10 million a year.
I'd be fine with it.
I like Terrence.
I like how the age of Seth Curry has become such an important thing in this
He's-
conversation.
like
Terrence is fun.
Terrence
He's
Ross
a three-point
is a
shooter
lot
and a,
younger
slant
than
and a dunker.
people think, and
He'll put butts in. Nah, but he'll be entertaining.
he
to
can go
watch.
off for 30 at any night. And
I'd be happy with Terrence. Derrick Rose, Terrence Ross.
Terrence, Blake, and Andre would be an exciting 3, 4, and 5. It definitely would.
Oh yeah, Terrence is really fun to watch. Then you got Luke at the 2 and Derrick
And
at the
Ricky
1.
Rubio throwing flashy
Give me
alley-oops.
give me Derrick Rose. I
That'd
want
be an
Derrick
exciting
Rose.
team.
Well,
He's-
Derrick or
Derrick
Ricky,
and
I'm
stuff.
fine. I'm fine with
Yeah.
Derrick.
Ricky
or
throwing
Ricky.
flashy passes and throwing alley oops. That'd get people in seats. They
I
wouldn't
think
win a
Rick-
lot. They probably
yeah.
wouldn't win a lot, but
Why am I
Positive
so sad now?
ending.
Why am I so sad
positive
now?
ending.
I think we should, when free agency comes up for the Pistons, it should just be me and Malik, so Chris doesn't have to like put all his hopes and dreams into the episode. I'm just looking out for you. That's all.
All right, let's just end the episode. I'm tired. You know, I thought talking about the Pistons would be fun. We haven't talked about them in a couple weeks.
Started
How would
with-
you think that
started
would be
with- listen,
fun?
started with
Because
the
of
Bucks.
because
You were
of
so
Derrick
full of
Rose. I was like,
energy.
oh, Derrick Rose would be cool.
He was so full of energy at the beginning. Now it's just
There's so many playoff teams that
No,
would
it's
love
not.
to have Derrick Rose on their team.
Well, that's gonna do it for the show today, guys.
hey, we got some exciting basketball to watch.
We do have something. We gotta get home. Okay, we got Sixers and Raptors at 8. Sorry, my mind is just like depressed now. And then we got, what do we have? Blazers Nuggets 10:30. Great night of basketball. Pistons aren't playing, so my hopes and
Yay.
dreams will not be destroyed. That'll come June 28th for the NBA draft, and then July 1st for free agency. That's when my hopes and dreams will be shattered, like every year. Anything else? Any last words, fellas?
Buckle your seats. The Pistons are 10 years away from being 10 years away.
The Bruno Caboclo of NBA franchises. We're here.
We'll
We're
see
here.
you guys next time. Nothing,
Bye.
Malik?
The big three might have better pickups than the Pistons in the summer.
I'm excited for the big.
Ice Cube, the GM.
Should I bring out my Josh Smith jersey? All right, see you guys.